Yo, 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 what it do? What it do? It's your boy Yellow the Poet, and I am here with Miss Andrea Lukac. And Miss Andrea has actually entered the working world and has been studying economics and has been studying quite a bit of things. She definitely has a passion for inspiring people. So we're going to talk with Miss Andrea about these experiences. Welcome. Thank you, Miss Andrea, for joining the podcast with YTP Entertainment. I greatly appreciate you. And my first question, my first thing for you is to please enlighten us and let us know more about what you do.
Yes, thank you. So I support people to overcome fear, shame, and help them out when they are in down phases in life. My name is Andrea Lukac. I'm a hypnotherapist, psychological counselor, and an NLP trainer.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. So, in your everyday experiences with helping people, what are some of the challenges that you face when you're helping people?
So people tend to protect their own beliefs very hard.
Mm.
So that's a big issue for some because they feel sometimes very protective over it, which makes sense because it was created a long time ago, and oftentimes that little beliefs which are influencing people's lives are not even their own, but it was taught or they observed it when they were children.
Hmm.
So it got quite internalized and not being aware of it. Some believe it on a subconscious level, so it drives and influences their lives, although it's not aware.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So, can you tell by speaking to people where some of these experiences actually come from or who they're being taught by?
Yes, our psychic is very dynamic, and when we grow up, we can see ourselves as an unfilled bottle. And by growing up, it was filled with experiences, with what was taught to us, which how we have to behave in this world by our teachers and environment.
Hmm.
Everything we have observed, so it was filled, and it is influencing us on a subconscious level. And until we become aware of these patterns, they are influencing us and we cannot change them.
Okay. So, have you ever heard the term, it takes a village to raise a child? Have you ever heard that term before?
Yes, so it's very important how we speak to our children.
Hmm. So, how does that impact the people that you have taught when it says that it takes a village to raise a child? What does that mean to you?
So we have to be careful with this. You can't do that. You're this. I can't do this. It shows later as I can't. I am not allowed. I may not do that. And that are hint words that something is behind that. Why? So we want to have a look on why do we believe we cannot do this? Oftentimes, if we question it, we come up that it isn't even to be described with logic. It's unreasonable, but we are afraid and or we feel we can see it through thoughts, and
Mm.
our feelings are big indicators as well. Oftentimes we feel we don't like that, but we have no logical reasoning for it.
Right. That's
So that shows that something is working within us, which is not allowing us to go to our full potential.
hmm that's understandable. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
I'm from Austria,
From
so
Austria?
English is not my first language.
But I can tell. I can tell. I knew that it wasn't in the in this area, like in the United States area, but I can tell that you have the Australian accent. That's pretty cool. I've always liked the accent. That's pretty cool. So um, I ask you, is there a difference in the upbringing of the children in Austria versus other places where you've seen children? Is there a difference in how they're brought up?
Yes, there is. As humans, there will be no difference, but as culture and the environment influences upon us, so we surely would be different if we would be risen up in different countries.
Hmm. Understood. Understood. So, um, in your practice and the amount of, you also help children and adults, right? So, what are some of the challenges that you face with children when you're mentoring them or talking to them about any issues that they may have versus talking to the adults? What are some of the challenges that you may face differently from the child to the adult?
To work good with a person, they have to be open
Hmm.
and depending. So wouldn't like to generalize it because there could be children you can easily deal as some adults you can easily deal with, and there are some who hold very strong to their beliefs, and the inner world is very strong within them. So
Hmm.
we have to see why that is that way. So um, I believe that it's best to pick up the person where he or she is at the moment and lead them to
Hmm.
see what's holding them back on one side and which resources are needed to get things done on the other side.
Awesome. Awesome. So, when when dealing with the children, are there is it sometimes can their beliefs stand in the way, and how do you help them to work around that?
Yes, to first make it clear. So everything which is not aware, we cannot change. So to make it as clear as possible, because we are just seeing a little part of the world. We are not seeing everything as how our focus is directed, our attention goes, and that's what we pick up and realize. And the other things are unaware to us. So we would ask what was in that situation, how were my thoughts to it, how have I felt, and so by becoming very clear, we can see which beliefs are holding them back.
Hmm. That's cool. So I was reading some of your the things that you have on your page, and I was wondering, how is it that we set healthy boundaries? What brought that topic about?
Yes, so I observed that a lot of people are not able to say no when they mean it. So they say yes, and because they want to please the other person, and then they get exhausted if
Mm-hmm.
it's too much. And on the other side, it has something to do with respect, right? We respect the other person, and we want to be respected as well. And
Yes.
therefore, healthy boundaries are very important because I believe no one has something good in it if we say no, yes, and although we mean no,
Mm-hmm.
and then we judge ourselves for
Yeah,
being that way. So if it will be a freely giving thing, it will not hinder us or be in the way. But if it's not, it's overwhelming. It's bringing us into judgment, and that does not bring nobody anything.
exactly. Exactly. So, what are some of the techniques that we can use to help kind of re reshape the thinking of a person that is judgmental? What are some of the techniques that we can use to help with that?
Yes, first of all, to know ourselves, to know our wants and our needs, and to be committed, to be accountable, to stick on upon them.
Hmm.
And the easiest way is to set priorities. So we prioritize what is more important right now, and then we decide. And if we are in an automatic process of reacting like we did always,
Hmm.
first of all realizing, okay, the moment is here, then stopping it, going one step backwards, becoming aware of where our wants and needs are, and
Hmm.
then acting upon it.
Yes. Yes. So I know that from dealing with people, because I deal with people a lot as far as mentorship and even dealing with people while I'm doing my poetry, that a lot of times people face fears and challenges that sometimes they are not aware of or just don't know how to overcome. How do you help in those areas?
Yes, I will ask them if they believe it to be true,
Hmm.
and if yes, I will ask why,
Yes.
to see the
Yes.
story behind which is holding us back.
Hmm. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, that is pretty cool. I like that. I like that. So, how do we bring more clarity to life situations? How is it that we would do that?
Yes, so awareness is very important. So I suggest to be one's best observer. So I don't need to observe what's around me, but I observe me. How am I thinking? How am I feeling? And how am I acting in a situation? Because not acting is also acting.
I can relate to that.
Yes.
I can definitely relate
And I will monitor this acting or not acting as well.
I can definitely relate to that. I understand that a lot. So let's say, have you talked to people who actually do like speeches and things of that nature? And sometimes they'll tell you that before they go out to do a speech or to do a motivational speaking, they kind of like get the butterflies in their stomach. How, what type of advice would you give them to help them continue to doing the good that they're doing?
Yes, to be aware that you are offering something to someone and you are not putting your thoughts upon someone, but you want to help, right?
Hmm.
On the other side, it's a thing of a state. So we manage our state,
Hmm.
bring
Awesome.
us into present. So being present and letting that what is here out.
Yes. Yes. I can relate to that. So, um, are there ever times where you're explaining to the person what portions of the brain um, work or function for whatever reasons when you're giving them advice? Do you kind of walk them through how the brain works in that particular area?
I'm not sure if I understand the question right, but we have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind, and for me, the conscious mind can process just not more than 40 bit per second, and the subconscious mind can intake nearly 12 million bits per second. So the amount which is available on a subconscious level is much greater. And it's the part which memorizes everything, so we cannot forget it. We are just not aware of it, maybe consciously.
Right.
So I described this, but I'm not going to describe how this part of brain or this is
Mm-hmm.
functioning, because every cell has its own brain, let's say. They know what they are here to do. So, and there is no reasonable thing why to explain it, because it's a
Along.
long studying. Yes, right. And it depends also on the experiences of a person and what they are doing and thinking,
Mm-hmm.
which parts of the brain are more developed than the others. But due to neuroscience, it can be changed. So we
Yes.
don't have to lose time in this, but we see where we want to go, and
Yes.
we do it.
That's understandable. Yes. So, as a hypnotist, what are some of the things that you are helping people with? What areas do you mainly run into where you're helping people?
Yes, with belief systems, with release of blockages, we have memorized in our body cells
Mm-hmm.
to get them transformed. And for me personally, if we cleared our beliefs, a great potential is opening up. So,
Wow, that that's impactful. That is very impactful. That is very impactful. So, approximately how many people would you say that you've actually gained their trust and helped them to actually understand to clear the passage about their beliefs?
mm. It's some of them. You see the light in the eyes, which begins to shine when old blockages are released, and some need some time. So I ask where they want to go. So, and if they are in a down phase, it will take some sessions maybe
Mm-hmm.
to bring them. But what I want to secure is a long lasting change, and it need not to durate some years um, of sessions,
Mm-hmm.
but some things need its time and to go through the process as the person is willing to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we are faced with emotions and something we feel protective and don't like it maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are open enough to go through the process, we transform, and it's very individual, right?
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, in what ways does emotion stand in the way? How do they affect the person's well-being?
Yes, so some are not even in the position to feel them,
Mm-hmm.
um, as they shut down with them. Maybe a big pain was faced their way. And others is like fear. I want to do something, but I don't know, but a feeling prevents me of doing so,
Mm-hmm.
of acting, of speaking something out, of clearing something. And there's no logical reason why we should not do, but a feeling is just like stopping us, which is pushing us in a different
Yeah,
direction, right?
yeah, I understand that definitely. Wow. Ooh-wee. So, have you ever ran into a case where you are battling a person's beliefs and their emotions together? How do you handle that?
To So when clarity comes in and everything is in its place, the emotions with the thoughts are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are not aligned, it's a sign that something is not in place.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have a look on it, what it is and what is holding us back.
Okay. Okay. So has there ever been a time where there was someone that you couldn't help? What type of advice would you offer them?
To be open and to know what they want first.
Hmm. Okay. So are there times where you're helping um, uh, parent and child relationship?
No, I haven't done this.
They haven't done that. Okay. Okay. So the majority of yours has been individual
Yes,
helping.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. That works. That works. All right. So I ask you this: how would um, I empower myself? What phase would I have to go through in order to do that?
Yes, so we have a lot of reference experiences, and we can hold to whatever we have experienced till now, and to make the one of which were good and empowered more present, so we can recall everything which made us empowered already, everything we mastered in our lives. We can call back, and sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't know, there's nothing right in my life." So I say, "Okay, think about the time when you were a child.
Mhm.
Which things you have already mastered?" Yes, they have a look. So, yes, you have learned to go. It was not an easy task, the process of learning to walk,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
We drive a car without even thinking about it, and
Mhm.
the first time it was a very huge task for us. Now we do it without even thinking about it,
Yes.
and we can write without even thinking. We don't need to think how a letter is going to be brought to a paper. We just do it. We know what we want to write down and we write it down. But that a big success is because we haven't been able to do this when we were babies, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So, and along the way, when we go, there are so much of great things we already accomplished, and to honor these and to bring it back what we have already achieved in our lives,
Hmm.
to just become aware of what it is.
Hmm. That's true. That is true. So, something else I was reading on your page. How has um, human behavior affected you in your past?
Human behavior. So, you mean from my part or from others, or how can I understand this?
From okay, I was reading on yours where human behavior was a trigger for you. So I was just wondering, how was it that it affected you in the past? Like maybe a past trauma or something like that. How does that relate to human behavior?
So I was then in a state of avoidance, right? If something seemed dangerous, so I would avoid it. And to understand that humans, everyone has its own biography, its own experiences, which brought us to the point we are today,
Mhm.
and utilizing the knowledge that everyone is. conditioned by their environment, by their own experiences.
Hmm.
And it oftentimes, if someone is going to judge someone, it oftentimes has nothing to do with the other person. They are just labeling it based upon their conditioning. And to know this and to realize this, it gives us back a little bit of freedom, because we don't have to take it personally, because we
Yes.
know the other person, we don't know what the other person has experienced till now,
That.
and it is impacting the person. So it has nothing to do with me,
Hmm.
and so we can free ourselves that way,
Awesome. Awesome.
just by accepting it, that we know don't know what the other person has already experienced.
Hmm. Awesome.
And
Oh no, you go ahead. Go ahead. I'm I'm listening. I'm learning.
why they are acting the way they are, and then boundaries come into place. So if we don't like it, we can say stop it.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, it has become a passion for you to help with human behavior, with economics. Is there is there ever a time where um, economics can be the problem, like a person's financial situation could cause them to go through these type of emotions and stress and things of that nature?
That can happen in any arena of a person's life. So um, that has nothing to do with economics or not, or a special area. It can happen everywhere. So, but to know that what we already have accomplished, where we are today. So becoming aware of where am I today, and being honest to oneself, and then asking where do I want to go, and then bringing it down on what resources do I need, what does it take to reach my goal, because as long as we are alive, our brain can learn, and everything is a learning process.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, as a, because you are a hypnotist too, right? So, as a hypnotist, does sometimes people feel like you're putting these little Martians inside of their head and they're making marshmallows over a fire or something like that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I know that sometimes from the things that I've seen, that as a hypnotist, sometimes it's kind of hard to gain a person's trust. How do you deal with that? How do you handle that?
I love this question. Yes, hypnosis can be used for show issues, and in on television, let's say, and in psychological settings, it isn't that way. But for me, therefore, it is important that a person in a pre-talk understands what hypnosis is and what it isn't. So
Okay.
we have different brain waves which are we are in on a daily basis, and every person is in a hypnotic state on a daily basis. The one thing is that it happens naturally and they don't even realize it. And
Wow.
on the other hand, it is just induced by a hypnotherapist, which means that the person will come into a certain brain wave state
Mm-hmm.
where we can open, communicate with the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
But a person can be in such a hypnotic state on a daily basis without an hypnotherapist as well, because it's a natural state of being. It's
Oh,
no woo thing we are doing in here. We are just communicating with the subconscious mind.
yes. I can relate to that. Most definitely. Um, so how long have you been practicing? How long have you been doing this?
So some years ago, professionally,
Awesome.
and studying for almost 10 years because I was very interested in it, and it's a quite big field if we start to study it. So
Yes.
my interest was I want to learn this and this and this. So I had to set a plan for myself what's going to be next, not to get overwhelmed of the amount which
Uh,
can go with this, right?
so in your practice, how has this helped you as a person? How has it helped you to see yourself?
Yes, so the difference is huge. So for me, it is a big value that I can feel myself, that I can feel powerful, that I love if I'm in a state that I can laugh and I want to see others laughing.
Uh,
Um, as a lot when you go in a big city and you come into a railway and you see people are like this, so it's not very motivating, right? But
right.
we are observing it on a daily basis, and to see everyone in their own power being happy, how would it be if you go then to a shop or to a railway station and everyone is present within itself, not absent in thinking and worrying and something like this. So, if we are powerful, we know that each obstacle is here to be solved, and we find a solution when the time is right, and we will act upon it. So, we don't need to be 7 steps back, forward and creating some scenarios in our mind which almost will not even happen.
Oh wow. Okay. So is it more like you deal more with the present as opposed to worrying about things that you really don't have to worry about? Is it that type of um sensation?
As for me, the present moment is now, and all these worries and are future thoughts, right? They are not in the present moment matching with the situation I'm in. So it indicates that I fear of something may happen in the future, but to understand that this thinking comes from a past experience. So, and our mind is like a big protector.
Hmm.
It's like an a worried mother because maybe somewhere there was an experience and it wants to protect us and telling us, wait, maybe it could be that way again, but to know that it's just his job to protect us, and it maybe or mostly has nothing to do in the right situation, having the right resources at with us.
Hmm.
So, and the focus, if we change the focus, um, we will get out on another point in life. So I like to see it like a ship. If it drives in this direction, it will
Hmm.
come out there. And if we put the focus on a different direction, we will come out on a different way. The location and ending will not be the same. It can't be.
Exactly. Because you're going to a different place, so it can't be the same. That's
Uh,
understandable.
and I love the saying, where the focus goes, our energy flows.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I love that. Yes. I am I am one of those people who actually um channels my energy using my chakras. Um I love it. It's a very fun experience and it definitely awakens my subconscious and keeps me in tune with my conscious and my subconscious, which creates a balance. And I love those types of things. Um, so I ask you, um, when you see how your practice has impacted someone's life, how does that make you feel? How do you feel about that?
So I feel very grateful about it.
Yes, yes. And so, how do you feel for that person when you're able to reach them and help them to get that clarity? How do you feel for them?
So I wish um, to them that they become clear about what they want,
Hmm.
and to be open enough to go through the process and to trust themselves that everything will be okay.
Yes, yes.
As some people tend to worry a lot of things, and then they are exhausted and overwhelmed, have no energy, feel drained.
Hmm.
So then the part of self-care comes in,
Hmm.
where I suggest to them to take care of themselves
Yes.
first. Because if they are in not a powerful state, they are not here for anyone. They
Hmm.
cannot help their families, no one, if they are weak because they have lost their energy on the way. So they should pamper themselves up to come into a present moment, to be in their power. So
Hmm.
not just for themselves, but so when they are in power, they can share more with their loved ones.
Exactly.
And here I like the comparison with money.
Yeah.
It's so easy to understand. If you don't have money, you cannot give it away. And so it is with your power as well. If you are like unfilled battery, you cannot give any power out of it, right?
True. Yes. Yes, indeed. So, in your practice, um, especially being a hypnotist coach, the NLP trainer, being psychological, what is the bigger picture that you want people to take from you as a powerful, positive message? What is the big message that you want people to get from you?
First, to know where you want to go, then to be your best observer, to see how you're acting, feeling, and thinking, and then bringing that all in alignment and going towards your goals.
Yes, awesome, awesome. I like that. That is awesome. Um, so at this time, I would like for you to please share with everyone how they can actually reach you, email, podcast, however they can possibly reach you. Let everyone know where they can reach you.
Yes, I'm a member on the podcast, and they can find me with Andrea Lukac there. And if someone wants to work with me or want to book a 20-minute free call with me, please email me under andrealukac.coaching@gmail.com, and we can make an appointment. And I look forward from hearing from you.
Awesome, awesome. Um, so one more positive, motivational message that you would like for people to hear from you.
Yes, be true to yourself
Mhm. Yes, yes, indeed.
and show yourself to the world.
Yes, and be honest. Be honest at all times. I truly thank you so much, Miss Andrea Lukac. I thank you so much. This has been fun. I am so happy. Hopefully, we can get you on here again and we can share some more experiences. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. So much. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. And please share with your fans. Have a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Appreciate you. Peace and blessings.
Bye.
Bye.